all surrounded by data, right? But here's the thing, just collecting it is like half the battle. The real challenge, the part that trips up even the biggest companies, is actually understanding it. Today, we're gonna pull back the curtain on the one tool that can turn all that data chaos into crystal clear clarity. Let's dive in.
So to really get why this tool is such a game changer, we first need to talk about a huge, and I mean huge problem that pretty much every data team is facing. It's often called the 80% problem.
80%. I want you to just let that number sink in for a second. In a normal 5-day work week, that's 4 entire days, not spent on analysis, not on discovery, but on something else entirely. It is a staggering waste of time, money, and just pure brain power.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This comes from the Harvard Business Review. They found that 80% of a data scientist's incredibly valuable time is just lost. Lost to finding, cleaning, and organizing data. It's like a digital scavenger hunt before they can even start their real job. This is the exact chaos that we're here to solve.
So what's the fix? How do you solve this insane 80% problem and flip that ratio? Well, the answer is actually a beautifully simple idea, but it is incredibly powerful when you put it into practice.
I want you to think about it just like a regular old-school dictionary. You know, when you find a word you don't know, you look it up, you find out what it means, what kind of word it is, how you're supposed to use it. A data dictionary does the exact same thing, just for your data instead of your words. So, if we're going to get formal for a second, a data dictionary is a collection of what we call metadata. And that's really just a fancy word for data about your data. It tells you the what. What's the name of this thing? What type of data is it? How big is it? And, this is super important, how does it connect to all the other data? The whole point is to create one single source of truth so that everyone in the organization can understand and, most importantly, trust the data they're using. Now, here's where people often get tripped up. A data dictionary is not the same as a business glossary. Think of it like this. The data dictionary is for the tech folks. It's deep in the weeds, focused on the technical details of a single database. The business glossary, on the other hand, is for the whole company. It defines business terms like customer lifetime value so that everyone from sales to marketing to finance is speaking the same language.
Okay, theory is great and all, but what do these things actually look like in the real world? Let's check out a couple of examples that really show the range from super simple to incredibly sophisticated.
So on one hand, you can have something that is just beautifully simple, like this. This is from Oak Ridge National Laboratory, and it's for human health risk data. It's literally just a clean table in a PDF. It lists the variable, its type, and a description in plain English. That's it. It's simple, it's effective, and it gets the job done. But then you can go to the other extreme. Check this out. This is from NASA's Planetary Data System. This isn't just a document, it's a whole web application. A researcher can go in, search for data, and filter it. They can click on something like angular velocity and get this fire hose of information: who owns it, the version history, even the exact minimum and maximum values. It is a powerful, dynamic tool built for real discovery.
You see, whether it's a simple little table or a complex NASA-level web tool, the fundamental value is exactly the same. The real power here is in the clarity that it creates. And that clarity, well, that translates into some massive wins for any company.
And these benefits, they go right back to attacking that 80% problem we started with. First, you can spot errors and weird data points in a snap. Second, you build trust. People know what they're looking at. Third, you create consistency. And finally, you empower people to find their own answers. You build transparency and enable what we call self-service analytics, which is a total game changer.
And this right here perfectly illustrates that whole trust thing. Modern tools can actually visualize something called data lineage. I mean, just look at this. It's basically the birth certificate and the entire life story of a piece of data. This map shows its whole journey, from where it was born, every twist and turn it took, all the way to the final dashboard you're looking at. When you can see that whole story, you have total confidence in your analysis.
So, this all sounds pretty great, doesn't it? But the big question is, how do you actually start? How do you begin building this story for your own data and creating a dictionary that actually provides all this value?
Well, it really just starts by asking 5 basic questions. What does this variable actually mean? Who collected it, and who's the owner now? Who's touched this data, and what do they do to it? Who's the person in charge of making sure it's correct? And maybe most importantly, how do I get in touch with these people if I have a question? Answering these simple questions is step 1 to taming your data chaos. So when you boil it all down, here's the bottom line.
A data dictionary isn't just some boring technical file or a box to check off for data governance. It is the essential guide. It's the Rosetta Stone that lets you translate all those raw numbers into a story you can actually understand. It's the key to unlocking the true value that's hiding in your data. So the real question you have to ask yourself is, can you really afford not to have one?